Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to revise the Tempest supplementary read off for your coming monthly exam for August monthly test. I hope you do remember the character's name. Who are the characters in that play? Prospero, the Duke of Milan, Caliban, another Prospero's servant, Ariel, Prospero's spirit and chief servant, Miranda, the daughter of Prospero, Ferdinand, son of Alonso, no, Alonso, a king of Naples, Antonio, Prospero's brother, Sebastian, Alonso's brother. You won't receive this character here. Gonzalo, an old honest lord, to Prospero. The very main characters are protagonist Prospero, you know, and his daughter Miranda, Ferdinand, who is Ferdinand, son of Alonso, and Antonio, Prospero's brother. He was the antagonist here. See how the story starts. The Tempest, the title. It's about a Duke of Milan, Prospero, and his daughter. Miranda, who are put in a small boat. Miranda and Prospero were put into a small boat in the middle of the sea by Prospero's envious brother Antonio, who hopes they will perish. Perish means danger. A loyal friend secretly puts provisions and some other things and other necessities for survival in the boat. They land on a island which had been enchanted by the witch Sycorax, who died in short time before they arrived. Fortunately, Prospero's books on magic, he is very interested reading books. Books on magic had been placed in the boat. Because of his study and his magic art, he is able to release good spirit that had been imprisoned in trees on the island. The chief spirit is Ariel, a lively spirit it is called, who becomes Prospero's main servant, chief servant. See, one day Prospero and Miranda stand on the shore of the island, having just watched the shipwreck. Miranda entreats her father to see that no one on the boat comes to any harm. Prospero assures that her daughter no one was harmed and tells her that it is time she learned who is she, and where she comes from. Miranda looks her father curious. He tells her, that he was once Duke of Milan and famous for his great intelligence. However, he turned his attention more and more to his studies. He was neglecting his duties as a Duke of Milan. He gave Antonio an opportunity to act on his duty. But what will happen? Being very jealous, envious, he cheated them. The envious brother cheated his Prospero, his elder brother. See, simply the plot focuses, that kind of its mainly thoughts reconciliation through forgiveness. In the backstory, Prospero was deposed as a Duke of Milan by his wicked brother Antonio, who was helped by Alonso. Who is Alonso? The king of Naples and also father, yes, Ferdinand, father. Prospero uses his magic power to lure his enemies to the island where he lives with his daughter Miranda. He is eventually faced with a choice between seeking revenge or bestowing forgiveness. And finally, in the end, he decides to support the love between Miranda and Ferdinand, who is Alonso's son. The marriage reconciles him with a repentant king. While they reached in the island, Prospero built a house like a cave from the rock. One of his rooms he kept many books. These books mainly treated of magic, and from the book he learned magic, and not only that, he knew how to create spirit, and he imprisoned all the spirit into the trees. That just like in aliens, we can imagine the animated living being, not like a human being, right? And Prospero created good spirit from Sycorax. Who is a Sycorax? Sycorax is a witch. She was a lady. She had a son called Caliban. Caliban and Ariel. Ariel, who was chief of all, and they always fight together. From a bad spirit, Sycorax, Prospero released many good spirit, but it had imprisoned on the bodies of the trees. Miranda, she didn't even know about the spirits which her father released. See, as you know, good and bad never goes together, right? See, here Ariel, who is like a leader, assigning works to other spirit, but he gives too many works to Caliban. Do you know why? Caliban is the son of Sycorax, no? So, which, whenever Prospero asks to assign a work, Ariel is getting too much pleasure to torture Caliban by giving heavy work. Prospero can command the wind and waves of the sea to create a violent storm with the help of this spirit. This is what the highlight here. Prospero started telling the story how they came, how he deposed as a king. See what happened. Antonio got an opportunity to rule the dukedom. This made him a real duke, and took real power to rule the people. He joined with the Alonso's. Alonso is the king of Naples and also was enemy of Prospero. Alonso and brother Antonio joined together and thrown away them from the dukedom. On hearing this story, Miranda asked why hadn't Antonio killed them on that time? Why they just wanted to leave into the island? Why don't they kill? Then Prospero replied Antonio didn't have that much courage to kill them. And Prospero could have done something, he could have destroyed them, but he didn't because of his subject, subject means his people. His subject believed him, trusted him, Antonio carried them on a boat where they couldn't sail or mast, they couldn't escape. Antonio's only motive, Prospero and Miranda shouldn't come back. That is what the main motive, utterly. So he left them in the sea, in the island. But there was a kind man, Gonzalo, the very important character again. Gonzalo helped them by kept some provision, water, and some of books that Prospero used to read on his dukedom. This made Prospero little hope to live in the island, but ultimate hope to live in the island was the only one, the daughter Miranda. After hearing this story, Miranda felt sad and replied she had brought misfortune, to Prospero's life. Her father convinced her by telling that she was the only hope to live in an island. Miranda was obedient girl and who listened all her father's instruction as she thanked her father. But she asked Prospero the reason for raising the sea storm. Prospero revealed that enemy Alonso and brother Antonio who was heading to the island. So he created violent storm in the sea, in the ocean. While he was telling this, he gently did his magic wand, spread his magic wand so that his daughter could fast asleep, because there should appear, there is a reason should appear Ariel, because her daughter doesn't know how the Ariel, who is the Ariel, why his father was creating, so that he don't want to her daughter know about this kind of spirit. So he waved the magic wand, and who was responsible for the making storm and reporting Prospero, that is Ariel. These spirits would have always invisible to Miranda. Prospero asked Ariel how he had performed. Was that success? What was that plan to creating storm on that, to make them threatening? And there she got to know about Ferdinand. Ferdinand, once he just, she having sight of it, she had fallen in love with him. And Ferdinand also have a great affair with her. Prospero started thinking about to conduct a love test, but they don't know whether it is a love test or giving assigning work. But Prospero assigned a lot of heavy work. Miranda requested her father to be gentle to Ferdinand, but Ferdinand, was the second man that she ever saw in the island. Her father asked her to be silent and scold her for being support to the Ferdinand. Ferdinand is the impostor, and she pleaded for her love. But that was a true one. Prospero ordered him to follow where he planned to give some important work. That is a heavy work, Prospero ordered him to take some heavy logs of wood in order to whether he is able to long last for his love, or he exhausted for this heavy work. So that he wanted to conduct a test, just kind of assigning work. It's a love test. Next, there is a conversation between Ferdinand between Miranda. Ferdinand took a long time to describe about him, who is Ferdinand, the son of Alonso. Alonso is the king of Naples, and promised that she should be his queen, ever after. After hearing all the their conversation, Prospero appeared before them and told them not to fear. What a gentleman Prospero was, He was admitted before them that he overheard all the conversations and declared more, trouble that Ferdinand stood very confidently on the test. For the gift he can give Miranda as a wife. And finally, Ferdinand asked Miranda's hand in marriage. After they got in match, Ariel brought Antonio and Alonso in front of Prospero. Antonio doesn't have that face to talk him, so that he repented. He asked for apologies. He apologized to his brother. Prospero also forgave them all, and finally, all are happy. But in the inside the cave, Ferdinand and Miranda was talking, and Antonio and Alonso, the father of Ferdinand, who was very sad that his son was missing, but he was surprised at seeing his son is talking to the beautiful girl. Last but not the least, all are okay now. Gonzalo, Prospero, Antonio, Ferdinand, and also Miranda, all are okay. But all the humans being in the story joined together and they were happy to move from the island. What about the Ariel, the spirit, and some other good spirit? Prospero dismissed Ariel from his service. Then, after Ariel don't want to hear someone or obey someone, Ariel also was very, he was happy to be free. This is how the story ends. So, who raised a violent storm in the sea? Prospero. Who is the king of Naples? Who is king of Naples? Alonso. Is Ferdinand was the first human who Miranda had ever seen in the island. Except her father, he is the first. Who instructed Ariel to bring Ferdinand? Of course, Prospero. Who is Ferdinand? The son of Alonso. The prince of Naples. Was Miranda was attracted by Ferdinand? Of course, yes. Right? Read the story nook and corner, know every detail, and get ready for the exam. Thank you.